Welcome to another episode of Swasmi Digital Classroom Exercises, and today I want to talk to you about JavaScript separation of concerns. Yes, in Windows operating system there is such thing as file management, and by file management we simply mean how you arrange your files. It could be according to file type, according to size, according to the date modified. In fact, in simplicity, you arrange your files as the user according to how they make sense to you. The essence is for easy access. Now, this can be likened to what we're about to discuss today in JavaScript, which is a separation of concerns, talking about how you separate different file types that constitute your software and how they run. It's part of structuring, I would say. Okay, I believe at this point you will now agree with me in what I told you in one of those classes, how the fastest student in any classroom will always be that student with the prerequisite knowledge of what the instructor or the teacher is talking about. So if you know what file management in Windows operating system is, trust me, you will find what you're about to discuss today to be very easy and simple. Now look at the HTML boilerplate I have before me. And if you're not following, at any point in time, you can always ask questions. That is how we build software. At each stage, we test run our program to know if it is running. At each stage, at each milestone, we always test run to see the progress of what we are doing. So I will ask you to adopt the same approach. If there is any place you get confused, at any point in time, just ask me. I will come back and make sure you are with us in this exercise. So what I simply want to do here is to show you what separation of concerns mean. But then we are going to do some work which will strengthen and deepen your understanding of JavaScript and the methods and properties and stuff that I'm going to explain in this simple, short but value-packed tutorial. So let's continue. As you know, this is simply my boilerplate, and what I simply want to do is let me create a file. HTML file. Let's begin with a title, and this is h1, and my h1. Okay, let's say this is my JavaScript exercise. All right, good. Or maybe I would simply say welcome. Okay, so Swasmi Digital Classroom Exercises. Alright, this is just a title I want to use. Okay, this is not a problem for you anymore at this stage. And I also want to create another tag, and this one is P. Okay, just a P tag, and it's simply saying I'm excited. Alright, that's good. I can simply use this too. Now, if I want to do whatever manipulations, okay, whatever interactiveness I want to create, this is a simple page. Let's even do it before I continue to explain. And we can find that if I look at it, say index.html, we can find it, or we can simply click here to load it. So look at it. Welcome to Swasmi Digital Classroom Exercises. I'm excited. All right, of course I'm excited anyway. So let's continue. I can continue my manipulations. That's you must have heard me many times say that JavaScript is used to implement behavior. Okay, if you don't know what that simply means, I'm going to substantiate that statement right now. Let's see how JavaScript can implement behavior and interactiveness on web pages. So let's go ahead. I can continue my JavaScript exercises here, but then what do I want to even do? Okay, I simply want to put a button. Let's just create small functionality. I can create a button here, and yes, this button simply says click to change. All right, to change text. Let's simply put it like that. Click to change text. I will simply say click to change. Just use what makes meaning to you. Okay, and if I reload that page, I think it's time I bring it closer now. Okay, if I reload that page, see what I have. Okay, click to change. Okay, I think this is cool now. Now let's continue. I may not want to put my JavaScript here, but normally if you want to put your JavaScript, see where it should come. It should be the last thing under the body. Remember, this is a tutorial, and after now you're going to have your exercises, so make sure you pay much attention to each step. I can simply continue with the src. Src is the same thing as source, and I'm using index.js. Okay, I already created that file, but nothing is in it right now. And save. Okay, let's look at the page. Okay, nothing right now. And this is where I want to put all my JavaScript codes, the structuring, and how I want it to run, instead of leaving it here. Because without doing this, I can simply remove this src, and put all my JavaScript codes here. You understand me? If I put all my JavaScript codes here, it will still run. Everything will run very well. But remember the topic, separation of concerns. We are arranging our files according to their types. You know why? So that anytime we are troubleshooting, you will always troubleshoot. So anytime we are troubleshooting, we can easily go to different files and test run to know exactly where the problem is coming from. Okay, you can still do the same with PHP. You can still put them here. You can separate them. It depends on the volume of the software you are building. So let's continue. I don't want to leave it here. Let me go to the new page. But when I'm done, I will possibly come back here and try it here too, and let's see how that works. I will try as much as possible not to make this video to be very long, but if you are following from online, from anywhere, and you are enjoying this tutorial, I will direct you to where you can watch the full video and how you can join our classroom exercises if you want. Okay, so I am done here. I'm going to, this is index.js. Make sure this is well linked. If not, whatever you're doing here will not be connected. So right now, let me even look at let's look at the exercise, you know. Okay, I want to go to index.js. And here, the first thing I want to do is, this is JavaScript now. We have started. So I'm going to say, create a constant. I can call it a constant. It can be just a variable. Will I have time to explain the difference now? What are the names here? Let me find names I can give them. Have I even given them names? Okay, no names. So here, this is I'm excited. I want to give it an ID. Okay, and ID is let's say me. Yes, let's say me, that's the ID, because I'm the one excited here. What is an ID? ID is simply naming. You remember when God created Adam and asked him to name the animals? This is you creating variables, naming them according to your preferences, you know, using what makes sense to you. And at this point, I will advise you as a developer, you are not the only one that would work on your project. So when naming variables, be descriptive. Yes, another developer should be able to look at the file name or the ID, okay, whatever class name you're using on your variables. Another developer should be able to look at it, and at least it should suggest to them what that variable is about. So I will advise you always to use descriptive names when you are naming your variables. So, but this is just an exercise. So I simply put me and excited. And the button, do I have an ID for it also? Yes, I should. And the ID I want to give it is a btn. Yes, as simple as that. So I have two elements here that are named. I have this me, okay, and I have this btn. I simply did not name this one. I am leaving it as like a title, okay, like a title of what we are creating. Okay, remember our software development bootcamp is ongoing, and it will be starting fully on the 26th. So you can join us now before it's filled up. We have limited seats, and if the number of people that you can control in one class is gotten, we won't accept more people, because to us, learning it is more important than even the money. In fact, at this point, I must tell you, if you have great interest, provable great interest in this program, and you have no money, I will allow you to be part of it. So let's continue. So now we have index.js, which is where I am linking my JavaScript file so I can do the manipulations. What do I want to do? What do I want to actualize? This is a very important question. Whenever you are working on any project, always ask yourself, what do I want to actualize with this project? It's important to ask that question so that it will be your guiding compass. It will be your compass, okay? Did I close that? Oh my God. Okay, when you come to programming, that will expose how much you know Windows operating system. Okay, I simply want to do, depending on the Windows you're using, I want to keep the two of them side by side, so I will leave this one here. I want you to be seeing my results, okay, as I implement. So here I'll say variable me, okay. Variable me is equal to document. In programming, there is such thing as a DOM. It is one language you'll always hear, okay? And this is not just in JavaScript. You will see this in PHP, in almost every programming language out there. DOM simply means document-oriented programming. See, there is a lot to explain that, and I'm making this video so that it will be postable, okay? I can be able to post it on social media. I don't know how long this is going to take because the more I teach, the more I have things to talk about. But then let me try to contain it. This is a document dot, or let me even maximize this right now. Okay, document dot get element. Okay, get elements. Okay. By ID. Okay, document.get elements by ID, and the ID is me. Remember, that's the name of that one, the first one, and it's gotten. What I simply have done is I'm telling JavaScript, anytime I call the variable me, I want to get what is in that HTML by the ID, me. Do you understand? So when you are using ID or when you're using class name, you are simply naming your variables so that you can easily access them. And remember, what separation of concern entails is that I have moved my JavaScript files from the HTML page to a separate page, which is the index.js page. So it's as simple as I have captured that. Let me capture another element from that HTML page, and here I have a btn. Can use whatever name you want to. What matters is make sure you, this is document dot get element by ID, so it can suggest to you too, especially when you are doing it right. If you are not getting any suggestions, it could mean that you are making a mistake. Okay, so here is a btn, that is the name of that button. See what we are doing here. I'm getting the name. This me, and this is a btn. These are the only two I named I want to manipulate from the JS file. So it's as simple as what I'm showing you now. This is how you implement behavior, how you tell your web page, act in this way. If certain condition is met, if the user does this, do that. If the user does this, do that. JavaScript is just like another person, a standby person you added on your website to be there 24/7 looking at what your customers want to do, depending on the web project you are working on. This is what JavaScript. I remember in one of the classes, I remember telling you that Node.js, okay, and just like the V8 engine you have in your browsers, is simply a runtime for your JavaScript. Let me not go there right now. Let's get this class finished as quick as possible. So what else do I want to do? I have captured this too. So I want to btn, okay, dot add event listener. That's what I want to do. I want users to be able to see what I'm talking about. Yes, when somebody clicks here, I want what is here to change from I'm excited to I'm learning. Do you understand? When a user visits this page and clicks on click to change, I want this to change from I'm excited to I'm learning. This is interactiveness. This is changing behavior. So this is what we want to do. and it's time to actualize that. So what I have to do next is a btn.add event listener. What event are you listening to? I'm listening to click. Yes, when somebody clicks. Okay, now when they click, what will happen? At this point, I want to tell you something. Different programmers have different ways of reaching their goals. The most important thing is to understand this. Just like in English language, if I say I'm going to school, another user of English language can put it in a different way. They are saying the same thing. Do you understand me? So it must not necessarily be the way I'm putting it here. Take for instance, some developers can begin with a function, and such function is called anonymous function. What that means is there is no name for this function, but then I want this function to perform within this setup. Is not a universal function. Outside here, I cannot call it somewhere else because it's not universal. The function is only for this particular purpose. It's anonymous, so and there's no even name for it. Okay, it's a function. So always make sure you put your stuff right. Okay, so btn.add event listener and click. So what function do I want? Okay, that function is there, but nothing is inside of it. So what's going to happen? I will say me, which is where I have, is it me that contains that I'm happy? Me, I'm excited. Okay, good. So here I will say me, okay, dot inner HTML. That's what this is. Okay, inner HTML. Okay, equals to I said from I'm excited to I'm learning. Okay, that's it. So let's see. First, I captured the. Let's see if there's a problem in the first place. And here, did I link my? Okay, yes, it's linked index.js, and it's everything okay here. So let's reload that and try our function. If it doesn't work, we now check what the problem is. You see, right now it's not doing anything. So let's find out what the problem is. And I'm back here. What's the problem? Can someone help me find out what the problem is? Yeah, I'm paying attention. What is the problem? So have you seen what the problem is? Or you are still looking at it? So look at it. The naming, are they accurate? Is there something you didn't put correctly? Did you not reference it very well? Well, what I can see here to be the problem, look at the color of document here and the other one. See, they're not the same. And you should also mind your case. Yes. So here I'm using lowercase now. It was on uppercase before. So let's see if this is the problem or something else. This is how you will always go through your project to know what is working and what is not working. Wow, okay, it's working now. So that was the problem. So you see that when you visit the page, this is what you see. But the moment you click to change, this changes to cool, from I'm excited to cool. So see what's happening here. Look at the HTML. It's as simple as telling JavaScript when somebody clicks, that is btn, the button, btn.add event listener, which is click, and when clicked, what function follows, which is the function is writing to the inner HTML of that particular element you're referring to. Look at this. This is me, ID, me. The inner HTML is I'm excited. So with JavaScript, you are rewriting what is inside this element, this P element. You are rewriting it with the JavaScript, and this is what it means to implement behavior. Just giving you an example, and not leaving it here like this. This can take the whole code. Okay, maybe X. Take it from there, and on index, instead of This is the SROC. I can remove this totally. And I want to see whether this can work here too. Okay. So let's see. So in this case, I'm not using this page now. I have put everything on my simple page. So when you are building a small application, no application is small anyway, but then if you don't have so much files, you can simply use one page. Let's see if this works or not. And so here, reload and click. You see it's working, whether you have it on the index page or you put it in a separate page. What to understand here is there are times when it will be necessary to separate your concerns, and there are times when you can simply put them together if that is more convenient. So thank you very much. If you have followed this tutorial to this point, it means you are interested. Okay, click on the link below to join our classroom so that you can have practical oriented software development training in this bootcamp.